Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well this Thursday. And we've got more stuff to talk about concerning the extension of Uchenna Nwosu from yesterday afternoon. So, we don't have all the details yet still, but I thought we'd go over what we know so far and what we've heard so far. And obviously, it's probably going to take a few days before we know everything that there is to know about this deal. And every element of this deal is potentially meaningful. There's some of the things we don't know. We don't yet know exactly what the 2023 cap hit is. As near as I can tell, if I'm understanding the information we have so far, it would have to be at least like 9.1 million, but I could be wrong. I could be misunderstanding that. I theorized yesterday that it could be like 8 million, which would mean we save about 5 million from where we were. But if I'm understanding the information that I've read lately, it's going to be at least 9.1, but that may be me misunderstanding exactly what some of these numbers mean. So we're going to wait and see on that. We don't yet know what the exact cap hits and dead cap is for each year of the extension. We're still waiting on that. That's obviously going to be really important. But we did learn a little something late yesterday and early today from assorted sources. I got this tweet up here from Brad Spielberger, Esquire of PFF, and he sheds a little bit of light on this deal. According to various league sources, the extension is not just a flat extension. It's 3 years, 59 million. However, that 59 million includes 8 million to Nwosu in 2023 cash already on the books. So a good chunk of the money that Nwosu was coming into for 2023 as it is still part of this extension. So that's significant. That takes the value of the actual new money down by 8 million. And then we also have 6 million in salary escalators. And I'll talk about that more in a second because that's actually potentially really important and really interesting. So if you take out those two amounts, you take out 14 million, you have 3 years 45 million in actuality. And 3 years 45 million, that's 15 million a year. That's very close to what I and actually a lot of people estimated an extension could look like. Brad Spielberger himself says that he predicted a 3 year, $45 million extension for Nwosu back on June 1st. When I spoke about it in the off season a couple months ago, the numbers I threw around were always 3 years and 42 to 45 million, somewhere between there. So that's basically where we landed. So for those of you who looked at the extension yesterday and said, "Oh, that's too much money, he's overpaid." If you look at it like this, I think you'll probably feel a little bit better about it. So we still need to see exactly how every year of this contract breaks out before we really understand what's going on here. We need to see exactly how much that cap hit is for that first year. But if it really is only like 8 million or 9 million, then this is actually right in line with what I would expect a guy like Nwosu to be able to get right now. And you also have to remember, I said this a few times already, and I think it's true, he is obligated to give the Seahawks a little bit of a break because they are giving him a break by extending him now. He's not a free agent. It's not like he can go anywhere and go to the highest bidder. No, he is under contract for one more season. And if the team were to just say, no, play out the last year of your deal and we'll talk next year, he couldn't really do that much about it, especially with all the new rules the NFL has about holding out. It's not an easy and it's a very expensive thing to do. So it seems like that happened. I think that if a guy like Nwosu was on the open market after the season he just had, you'd probably see him get closer to a 3 year, $55 million deal. Maybe even 3 years, 60 million. Remember, we are probably a couple of weeks away from a Bosa extension with the 49ers that is probably going to inflate the contract that every other edge player gets going forward as well. So if you waited for next year to extend Nwosu, his money might go up even more. It might be like 360, 365, 366. It could be really out of hand just because of that Bosa extension, and next year you might have the Micah Parsons extension. You have to think about these things too. So when you put all that together, I think everybody can feel pretty good about where this deal is. Now, the thing in this tweet that really kind of caught my eye was $6 million in salary escalators, and Seahawks fans are experts in salary escalators right now because we use them extensively in the Geno Smith contract. So I think most people know what this means. Basically, they are incentives that do not count against the cap unless he meets the escalators. Now, this is unofficial. I don't have anything backing this up that is hard. I don't have anything backing this up that is definitive. But I have heard that the escalators in Nwosu's contract are going to be based on sacks, not tackles or tackles for loss or games played, but it's going to be number of sacks. So this first year of the extension obviously isn't really a part of this. And then you have the 3 years in the extension after this current year. So either all 3 years are eligible to have a $2 million boost if he meets a sack total. Maybe it's 8, maybe it's 9, maybe it's 10, whatever it may be. Or the last 2 years of the extension have a $3 million escalator each. And remember, that money is not included in the cap hit unless he hits that milestone. So, in a way, it takes the actual value of the contract down a little bit until such a time as he meets those escalators. If I had to guess, I would say this year does not involve the escalators at all, and then 2024, he'll be fighting for an escalator worth $3 million the next year, and then that year he'll be doing another escalator for the year after that. So if I had to guess, I would say there's going to be 2 $3 million extensions in that deal. And that is going to free up a little bit of cap space as well, because that money does not count until he actually meets the escalators, just like it doesn't with Geno. So that's a nice little bonus as well. You save a little bit of money that way, and you put all this together. I think this is a really good deal for this team. The only thing that remains is for him to go out there and perform. That's all that's left. If he performs at the level that he performed at last year, we are good. And as near as I can tell, based on the language of various tweets like this that I've seen, based off what the reporters are saying, based off what the contract experts are saying, we did very well here. The actual base value of this extension is 3 years, $45 million, which is right in line with what I was hoping we could get Nwosu for. But the number I kept throwing about, like I said, was 3 years 42 to 3 years 45, somewhere in that range, the Hassan Reddick range. And Nwosu has the opportunity to earn a little bit more if he continues to perform throughout the contract. It does seem like this escalator thing, I'm not seeing it with a lot of other teams. It seems like it's something the Seahawks are using more than other teams. Kind of interesting, isn't it? You would think that every team in the league would want to use these things, but mostly it seems like it's us. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think, but that is what we know about the Nwosu extension so far.